Hi friends, so I'm interrupting the video before it's even started because I wanted to address last week's video. We uploaded Therapy Book Club where we talked about the 5 love languages by Gary Chapman, and I did a bunch of stuff wrong. So I wanted to apologize and like right off the bat just genuinely say that I'm really sorry. I know a lot of y'all left me comments to let me know about a lot of the things that I missed, so I just wanted to address that and talk about that. I thought about like skirting around the issue a little bit, but I'm just gonna be super honest. I straight up did not read the last chapter and the afterword because on filming day I hadn't read them yet, and I was like, it'll be fine. I know all about the 5 love languages, and like, no, I didn't. There was definitely some hateful and abusive language in those chapters that was very heteronormative and sexist and homophobic and like anti-feminist and abusive and just not the things that I support on this channel. But I think there was also some stuff in the book generally that I missed just because of my bias that I brought into the room. And so I wanted to apologize for missing that because, like I said, that's not the kind of stuff that I support or want to platform here. And that's on me for not doing the research and not like doing my job to make sure that I'm not sharing content that is hateful and abusive. I also wanted to say thank you though to those of you who took the time to leave me comments because I appreciate that y'all left them in a very like constructive and kind way. It is always so encouraging to me to see you guys interacting with each other in this kind and constructive way, but it also is nice that you guys left me comments from this place of like helping me learn and helping the channel like learn and be better. So thank you for that. In the future, when we release therapy book clubs, we will probably be releasing them a little bit further apart or like slower so that I can make sure I'm doing my due diligence and like giving it the appropriate attention to detail. But for now, I just wanted to be clear. I very much retract my support of Gary Chapman. Obviously, I do stand by what I said in that I think the primary use of the 5 love languages is in opening a conversation between partners. But I did also see comments about how you don't need the book to open that conversation. And I think that's a really good point. So like I said, very much I wanted to be super clear that we do not support Gary Chapman or the 5 love languages here. And I'm really sorry for accidentally platforming hateful content because I was being lazy, essentially. So thank you again to all of you who pointed it out. And again, I'm really sorry for anybody who was hurt or offended. We are working on it and we are doing better. So that's all that I have, and on with the video. This sounds like Holes. Like straight up, this is Holes come to life, but worse because it's real. It's not funny. Like this is horrifying. Bold of you to start recording before I was ready. Hi everybody, thanks for coming back. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. I'm recording this before it's even happened, but when you're watching this it will be several weeks after it's happened. So I hope you guys had fun. Did I have fun? Leave me comments, let me know how it was. We are doing part 2 of the Dr. Phil, Danielle Bregoli / Bhad Bhabie situation. This video is going to be her video talking about her experience at Camp Turnabout Ranch, Turnabout, and all of the absolutely horrifying allegations about the things that have taken place there and her experience with Dr. Phil generally. I have not watched this yet, but I have heard from you guys and from a couple of other places about how abusive and upsetting this situation is. So let's dive into that. Oh, if you have not watched part 1 yet, I will put it in the card up there. Definitely go watch that first because we talked about her actual appearance on the Dr. Phil show, and now we're talking about this. Okay, here we go. Before me and my frizzy hair watch this video, I also want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Let's do it.
I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I feel like it's very important for me to speak on this because I kept my mouth shut for so long. I did touch on it a couple times in different situations, but I really want to get my whole story out there and let everything just be out, because that's the thing with these places is you have no evidence. You don't have a phone there. They don't have cameras there. Like, there's no evidence of none of this. And obviously all the staff is in on it, so they're not going to snitch on each other. All you really have is the kids that are there. So a young lady, her name is Hannah, she recently spoke out because while she was there, she was sexually assaulted, and then when she reported that she was assaulted, she was punished by staff. Now, when I seen the punishment she was given, I knew like, okay, I really have to say something. Like, I really have to have her back on this because I truly believe that they did that. So, Dr. Phil, I'm going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way. somewhere in the middle.
Honestly, good for her. Wow. Yeah, okay, let's just keep watching.
August, I went on the Dr. Phil show, and my mom and my grandma knew they were sending me here. I didn't know I was going. I went school shopping right before because the school was supposed to start when I got home from LA from doing the show. So part of the whole Dr. Phil show is they send these kids to either Turnabout or these other programs that are also in Utah, but they're all wilderness programs.
Which I did not know that. A lot of you pointed this out in the comments of the first Dr. Phil video that I did, and I had no idea that sending them to this camp was part of the deal. So I would assume that the young woman, the child that we talked about in the last video, was also sent to a camp, which is super fucking concerning because that was recent. Like, that happened very recently. And I don't know how old, do you know how old Danielle is now?
She's 18.
Oh my God.
It's like 5 years.
Oh no. Okay. So yeah, knowing that this happened 5 years ago, ooh, that's concerning. Okay, so this has been going on for years and years then, and Dr. Phil still has not talked about this. Okay.
And they're all fucked up. Okay, so Turnabout is in the middle of Escalante, Utah. It's a very, 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 very small town. It's got one gas station, one grocery store. Everybody knows everybody there. You see you're in the middle of nowhere. You know there's nowhere to run. If you try to run out there, they're gonna find you, you're gonna get in more trouble, or if you do get away, you're gonna get eaten by a coyote or something. Because took in there against my will. They give you transporters. Transporters are two people, a male and a female, that come in the middle of the night. They don't tell them where they're going. They just take them, they handcuff them, they put them in the car. It's basically like kidnapping. We got there, I got out of the car, and I just seen it looked like nothing. It was just super dark. I seen like all the circles and stuff. And
this is traumatizing as fuck. Oh my God. I am super confused about why this would be standard practice, but also why somebody like Dr. Phil, who has a doctorate in psychology, I think, or at least a mental health background in some capacity, would sign off on this behavior. This is so fucking traumatizing because even when we involuntarily commit a person, there is no justifiable reason to introduce them to treatment in this way. There's no reason that we can't inform a person where we're going, what we're doing, what to expect, and give them like a heads up, basically. Like, I understand that involuntary treatment is traumatizing in and of itself, and it's not ideal. I don't agree that she should have been involuntarily sent to this camp to begin with, but sometimes involuntary commitment is necessary for treatment. But again, like, there's no good reason to initiate treatment in this way that is essentially kidnapping. That, to me, does not sound clinically necessary.
I seen the little cabin and I was like, oh shit, I'm not built for this. Like, I'm this little bougie ass. So for the first 3 days you're there, there's no showering. They put you in a circle, which is it's a teepee. It's a little teepee, but it's open. And you have to sit there for 3 days. They wouldn't let me lay down for nothing. Like, I was falling asleep and they were like, get up, get up. So I'm just sitting here like, this is gonna be really bad. When I seen these people,
this is abusive. Sleep deprivation is a common tactic used by cults, in case anyone was wondering. Again, also I'm not understanding the clinical justification for sleep deprivation because this is not helpful. This is traumatizing. This is abusive. This is not helpful in resolving any of the issues that we identified in part 1. So I'm so confused and angry that Dr. Phil would again like sign off on this behavior because either he has to know what happens at these places and he willingly is sending children to them, which is fucking disgusting, or he doesn't know and he is unknowingly sending children to these abusive camps without doing the appropriate due diligence, which is equally as fucking disgusting. So like, there's not really a good answer. Neither of those are good.
have no sympathy. I was like, oh, I'm really doomed. They strip you from your whole personality. You have to act like just whoever they want you to act like. They told me, okay, these are what your chores are gonna be. I don't remember what they were, but they were like, these are what your chores are gonna be. This is what you're gonna be doing. Here's your level 1 binder. You do the same thing every day. Chop wood, take care of the animals. This place is all about taking away privileges. Like, okay, yeah, the phone is a privilege, TV, like all that. But they take away like necessity privileges, like sleeping on a bed, eating good food, not being cold.
I'm sorry, eating food and not, I'm not gonna lie, I spaced out a little bit for that, and then I just came to and she said not being cold. What? This is abusive. This is abusive. Again, there's no clinical justification for treating people this way. I just can't and won't understand why we would treat a child like this, but also how this is in any way addressing the issues that we talked about in part 1, because Dr. Phil had a super long rant about how she's going through life feeling defensive and protective. Do you think this is supposed to help? Anyone who's walking through life feeling defensive and on guard and ready to fight people because they're afraid of being hurt after this experience is going to be traumatized beyond belief, first of all. But second of all, is going to have trust issues. Oh my God. The amount of therapy and trauma-specific intervention that she needs to heal from this now is a whole separate issue.
I remember the first time I got in trouble. Now, this is my first time being here. I don't really, yeah, y'all explained to me the rules, but I'm 13. I don't really know, exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. There's been times where I reported another student acting inappropriate or just anything like that. Didn't even have to do with me, and I would get in trouble for just witnessing it. If you reported another kid, getting bullied by, their peers or something, they would just say, well, maybe that's what they need, or, something like that. Even though there was written rules, if a staff was angry at the moment, or if you just did something that they felt was bad, you would get your own punishment. They would make up their own punishment for you. So it's really frustrating because even if you don't know the rules, if you fuck up, you're still in trouble. There's not no I didn't know. You're still in deep shit. Shit that's minor is major to them. So if you do something the tiniest thing, you get a check. If not, you have to be on reflection. Reflection is the punishment. When you do something so bad, or if you do anything that ticks them off, you have to go on reflection. You walk in the arena for hours on end. You sit outside in the cold on the floor. You have to pick up piles in a wheelbarrow of horse shit, and they want big piles. So if you have to do 25 piles, you're really doing 50 wheelbarrows. So while I was there, just a lot of crazy things happened. I seen a kid.
I'm sorry. I am so confused. We're talking about these children being forced to provide involuntary labor to help the farm function, which is providing them with what? To what benefit is this supposed to provide them? Again, I'm failing to see any kind of clinical justification for this type of treatment or behavior. And I've also yet to hear any type of actual therapeutic intervention. This sounds like Holes. Straight up, this is Holes come to life, but worse because it's real. It's not funny. This is horrifying.
Get held down for trying to leave. Just honestly, I don't think he was trying to run away. I think he was just trying to walk out the door and just get some time to himself, and they restrained him. They held him down. They had no problem holding kids down, which is against the law. You're not supposed to touch the kids, but they had no problem doing that. It's just our word against the staff's word when you're there, because there's no witnesses, there's no cameras, you don't have a phone, there's none of that. That's why I was always so scared to speak out, because it's no one's gonna believe me. A lot of things that happened to me there, it hurt me so bad because I was genuinely confused. I'm writing letters to my mom, Mom, I will do anything. You don't understand what this place is like. You can't do this to me. I will do anything. I will do therapy every day. I will go through an outpatient program, all that. Just please let me come home. The staff when I got there was this dude, Jimmy, and this dude, Ted. These are the night staff. Two of the night staffs around me, they were really, really sweet. One morning I was cleaning up for breakfast, and one of the staff members was standing right next to me, and she had her walkie on her, so I heard everything. One of the kids, he had tried to steal a car or something. Everyone was screaming on the walkies, it was really crazy, and he ended up killing one of the staff members. They made all the kids that were at Roundy come down, and then they told us not to tell us anything. A day later, they have us all, every kid that's at Turnabout, they have us all sit in a circle, and they're listen, there was an incident, I know some of y'all heard it over the walkies, Jimmy died. And so we're all freaking out, because Jimmy was, like I said, he was one of them that was there the first day I got there. He was really sweet. Not only did Jimmy die, but one of the other staff members that was there at the time, Alicia, who was the daughter of the nurse. Alicia, she was also injured, and 2 years later she died, and she was also left disabled after being attacked by Clay. So the mother of the kid Clay who killed the staff, she was married to the brother of the president of the program, which I also believe is a conflict of interest. I don't know why they would do that. So it was really sad. They wouldn't tell us what happened and all that. And any of the kids that were there, they couldn't talk about it, but they were really traumatized by it. Even the ones that weren't there were traumatized by it. I heard it over the walkie. That's scary. So you got kids here that are killing people. And like I said earlier, my mom had always threatened me as oh, I'm sending you away, but she never did it. This was the first time she really did it.
Okay, the fact that a murder took place at this camp and the response wasn't to immediately close the doors and send everybody home is mind-blowing to me. Because again, there's no oversight for like what's taking place here. This sounds like a fucking haunted house. There's no cameras, there's no oversight, there's no like surrounding town or neighbors, there's no nothing. And some person was murdered and they just said, another day at the ranch. Like, what the fucking fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Not that I would ever in a million years send my child to a place like this, but can you imagine being one of the parents whose kid was there and you find out fucking after the fact that your kid was there when someone was murdered and they kept them there? That's fucking insane. Can you imagine being one of the children who's at this camp after someone's being murdered and they're like, okay, but go clean the dishes, go pick up some horse shit. Like, what? What? Why? Why and who? I just want to know who runs this camp. Who was on this staff? Like, who runs this fucking place? Like, what? Do they have any staff with any kind of clinical accreditation? I'm Googling this place after this.
I never thought my mom would do this. So what parents need to understand is if your child is acting out because of trauma, like sexual abuse, or maybe like the kid's parents got divorced, or just anything like that, you don't send your kid to a program like this. You need to send your kid to a program where they're not being punished and it's not about, everything's not about you're in trouble. And it's just really fucked up. You're just using children to keep your ranch going and you're not even feeding them or letting them sleep in decent conditions. Just doing things that no one would ever want done to their child, and not even and doing it to kids who are so helpless. And when you know that you're watching their letters, you know that they don't have any contact with their parents. So I'm not really sure why Dr. Phil still sends kids here. It really doesn't make sense. Like, are you trying to help them or are you trying to hurt them even more? Because, I mean, we all know he's a phony as it is, but like, don't be sending kids somewhere just to make it look like you're trying to do something. There was already lawsuits before I went there.
This shit's fucking crazy. They have no information about who their actual fucking staff are. Not right.
That's the right range, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I just looked at their website. There's not any actual information about the staff that works there. There is no bio section. There's no meet our therapist. They apparently have a functioning middle and high school and on-site therapists that do individual and group therapy. But again, absolutely no information about who these people are, what their background is, what their degrees are, what their accreditation is, what their skill set is, what their specialty is. Nothing. There is one picture of the director. There's a message from the director, and there's a whole bunch of talking about what a great program it is, how wonderful it is, how much they value your children, but there's no information about who the actual people are that are on site at this place. So fucking huge red flag. Not that I am in any way encouraging people to send children to residential programs. I think there's a lot of other steps that a person should and would take before jumping to that conclusion. But if you find yourself convinced that that's your option, at least find a place where the staff is clearly listed and you can see their names, their degrees, their specialty, that they're like accredited and licensed, because just saying that they have on-site therapists is suspicious as fuck to me. And saying that they have on-site education, like teachers, that's weird. I don't like that at all. To me, that stinks.
There's now many more after, but there was one as far back as 2012. Now this place has been going since the 90s, I think. So I could just imagine like how much bad stuff has happened there. These are documented things that have happened. And just the abuse, the malnourishing, physical abuse, mental abuse, all that. And this place is still up and running. It just doesn't make sense. How could you not know about the murder? It was on national news. How could you not know about that?
Wow. Jesus Christ. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so this shit's sketchy as fuck. I am very interested to hear what Dr. Phil's explanation. Do we have any follow-up about what Dr. Phil has he said anything? I'm gonna do some research and see if Dr. Phil as a person or as an entity has ever responded to this and her like, I give you until April, blah blah blah. Because this is fucking wild to me. I'm also very interested to hear what the fuck is going on, where he's sending these fucking children now, if he's still sending them to places like this, and also where the other fucking places that he's sending kids are, because he's basically handing these children over to child abusers and profiting off of that, which is disgusting, but should be illegal. Wow. I like truly don't know what to say. I again want to encourage people to look for resources for yourself, or if you're a parent, for your children, in places that are licensed, accredited, that are transparent in terms of the services that they provide, who their staff is. Again, not that I would encourage people to pursue residential treatment in this way. Inpatient treatment can be very helpful for a lot of people, and it is sometimes a necessary step, but again, it is important that you have access to the staff and that there is some kind of accountability in place, especially from a legal point of view. It is absolutely fucking mind-blowing to me that there's no recourse for these people, because we're working with an inherently vulnerable population. Like mentally ill minors is very, very vulnerable for a number of different reasons, and so it's freaking wild to me they wouldn't have some kind of protocol in place to make sure that their staff isn't abusing children, if only out of like good faith to make sure that all of their staff is on the up and up. Because even when you do conduct background checks and do your thorough research with normal staff like you do in a normal behavioral health agency, you have to have that, if only for legal liability purposes, to make your insurance like cheaper and like leave you alone. I truly have no idea how this is fucking allowed or just like continuing to happen. Yeah, this is fucking wild, but also disgusting. Please do research, I guess, if you're looking into residential programs like this. But again, this is not at all a representation of what therapy or mental health services can and should look like. There are so many like wonderful and compassionate and kind providers and organizations and institutions that exist that do things the way that they're supposed to, that do change lives and that do help people like fucking by the book. So wow. If you guys want an update about this, I'm gonna do my own research because I'm just a nosy bitch. So if you guys do want an update about this, let me know in the comments. I'd also love to know what your thoughts and feelings are about this. That's that. If you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel, because we do therapist react style stuff like this. We have some lighter therapist reacts if you need a little bit of eye bleach. I will link the playlist in the thing up here. Share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Okay, bye.